Good morning, every Wednesday morning edition of the Dr. James Weiner Memorial Wellness Week, the Winter Wonderland version, all those W's. But we're excited today to kick things off with one of our good friends, Kedarji. Kedarji, you were here, was it the last Wellness Week or I think the one before that, and did a beautiful presentation. We had a lot of great comments on it. And he's coming to us from the beautiful Youngstown, Ohio. So tell us, Kedarji, how did you come to get involved with holistic living field, the holistic living field? I hear the word field a lot, energy field, right? So tell us about the holistic living field.
I was very sick growing up.
Mm.
And so I had a number of illnesses that were very serious that had to be quickly addressed. I had pneumonia in my left lung. My liver had stopped functioning. My left kidney had stopped functioning. I had type 2 diabetes, a very serious case.
At what age was this?
I was about going on age 20.
Okay.
And so going back and forth with my medical team because they had some plans for me that were very concrete. They said I was very sick, that in order to address my type 2 diabetes, I would have to be on a round of medications for the rest of my life. That I would start with medications and then adjustments would have to be made for the side effects of those medications going forward, but that I could expect it to be on a whole host of medications for the rest of my life to address my type 2 diabetes. The second part of their prognosis was that I was going to have a liver transplant and that there was no way around this. That if I expected to live, I would have to have a liver transplant. And then the next part of the prognosis is that in order to address a failing kidney, pancreatic poop out, and a whole other host of underlying diseases, but again, there would be surgeries likely required. And so this was a tremendous list with respect to how to proceed.
Surgeries, transplants, and medications. Wow.
Yes.
Not great options.
And not great options. And they admitted that they weren't great options, but they also said I didn't have any other options.
Uh-huh.
And so I told them I needed to contemplate it, that this is not a decision that I wanted to make right away. So I told them I needed a couple of days to meditate on the entire situation, and that then I would give them my answer as to how I felt I would be proceeding. So a couple of days came and went, and I decided that there was absolutely no reason to address healing every single one of these ailments through what I refer to as lifestyle change, what I like now call holistic, holistic living changes that are specific to the issue.
Mm-hmm.
And so, long story short, I got back to the medical team and said, "Thank you so much for all of your help, but this is not the route I'm going to go." And long story short, this is more than 40 years now. That's enough to know whether or not a particular method has worked, whether or not a thing has been reversed or healed. And so I decided to systematically apply everything I knew, everything that I had been teaching regarding holistic living, regarding intracellular nutrition, regarding if you don't fix the cell, you'll never get well, regarding metabolism. And long story short, I never required a liver transplant.
Mm.
I never required a I never required a kidney transplant. I never required any of these other things that were on their list. Of course, I didn't require the medications either. Step by step, systematically addressing one chronic health condition at a time,
Mm-hmm.
I healed myself of all of these chronic health conditions and diseases without any meds, without any medical interventions. And how do I know that uh, what I've applied that has now been more than 40 years, how do I know that that's working? Because in more than 40 years, there has been no return of any symptomology whatsoever. None.
That's fantastic. So that's, but you said no medical intervention. Your medicine was your holistic living, right? The way it was originally meant to be. Let food be thy medicine, let medicine be thy food. Well, you took that to heart and you did it the way it was originally designed. Well, so tell us about the holistic well-being challenge. Is that what rose out of this?
Yes, this is a program that we are on our fourth pass. So we do these every year where we take people, dependent upon what their situation is, what their circumstances, what their particular challenge is, and we actually tailor, working with naturopaths, working with health and healing practitioners, and we're very specific. It's 90 days where we hold people's hands for 90 days with respect to
Hmm.
their particular need for healing. That at the end of 90 days, they want to be certain they experience.
Mm.
And then how to sustain that, of course, past 90 days.
Okay, excellent. So then, is that the beginning of the Holistic Living Network? Is that how that arose from there?
I won't say it's how it arose. I would say it's a primary program offering.
Okay.
Because the focus of Holistic Living Network, in fact, is to take our more than 30 years experience working in this field, which also includes working with naturopaths, with with holistic health and healing practitioners, uh, with MDs who are who also work naturally and
Holistic
holistically.
minded. Yes.
Yes.
Right.
So there's a lot of integrative medicine involved. And so the point of Holistic Living Network, and the reason why we're developing this, is to have a place where more and more people have access to more and more holistic living approaches on the part of many, many more practitioners,
Mm-hmm.
so that people can come to the
Right.
Holistic Living Network, see that this is possible,
Mm-hmm.
not only that it is possible, but that they have resources that they weren't aware that they had.
Mm-hmm.
Because this is the big breakdown with respect to people being able to really become engaged, is that they believe that they lack resources and information. So
And they're not aware of the options that are available for them.
without question, they're not aware.
Right.
And we're building a network where anyone can be involved. We've got research scientists involved. We've got doctors involved, integrative medicine professionals involved. So anyone who wants to be involved, who has an offering that the public, that individuals need to be aware of, and
Mm-hmm.
also that researchers need to be aware of,
Mm-hmm.
the doctors need to be aware of, that this is a project, an ongoing project that's being developed. And here's another one, so that we build a community of scientists
Mm.
who are highly engaged in, under God's will, highly engaged in examining the science.
Mm-hmm. So this the Holistic Living Network and the challenge that is available to people on a wide scale. Do they have to go to a specific place? Do they do it with your guidance from the comfort of their home? How does that work?
It's They do it with respect to the leadership of our teaching staff.
Okay.
So once they get involved,
Mm-hmm.
um, our teaching staff are assigned, and once that occurs, people have a team of people to work with to begin to get started, to address their questions, to address their concerns, and then to also address their obstacles as they start to dig down into their own health and well-being challenges.
Okay. So, and are people able to take advantage of this at any time as we speak? Do they need to contact, the Holistic Living Network to get involved with this? And how do they do that?
Best ways for people to subscribe to the Holistic Living Network. That's the best way,
Okay.
because
Okay.
then they're going to get all the information, all of the content, all of the new programming, all of the upcoming dates, about programs such as the ones we've been speaking about.
Mm-hmm.
They get all the information there, and that's really the best way, is to just subscribe to the network.
Okay. So is it Holistic Living Network .com, .org?
So it's holisticlivingnetwork.org
Okay.
is the website. And if people go to the homepage, so this is the homepage. And as you can see, it's very easy to subscribe.
Oh, okay.
It's one click to get to the information that you need to know about what you're doing when you subscribe, and a second click to actually subscribe. And that's it.
Okay.
It's very short,
Okay.
quick, straightforward.
Okay. Excellent. Okay. Well, let's get into the meat and potatoes of your presentation here today. Let's talk about what you call the 4 pillars of joy in daily living. I'm excited to hear about this.
We live on a rock that
Yeah, we do.
hangs,
The big one.
and it hangs in a void of space without anything material with which to hold it there.
Mm-hmm.
And this phenomenon is such a powerful one that we can actually pinpoint 24 hours in a day based on one rotation of this rock around the sun.
Mm-hmm.
We can predict the waxing and the waning of the moon, as well as so many other things with respect to the movement of the Earth back and forth on its axis, that constitutes one 24-hour period.
Mm-hmm.
Now, here's the thing about this phenomenon. No standing president, no army, no drug cartel, no sovereign wealth trust, no mafiosa. There is nothing and no one that can change, that can manipulate this phenomenon.
Mm-hmm.
We live on a rock that hangs in a void of space, spinning on an axis in an orbit around a fireball, and that this has been going on for longer than anyone knows, with great joy. And so, in my experience, all of science needs to start here. If we're going to have a true discussion of science, then we have to begin with a discussion of this clearly what is a higher power and a sacred law here. Clearly, we have to stop avoiding that discussion. Because clearly, we operate here in the context of what I refer to as the energy substratum of everything, what I refer to as the highest power, a spiritual power. And so, for me, that's where everything begins and ends with respect to examination.
So that would be your first pillar of
First
the four?
pillar, the spiritual
Right.
power, yes.
Okay.
Now, because there is this underlying energy substratum, the second pillar, which is improved mental state, must be fashioned upon the experience of the first pillar, the experience of joy, the experience that there is a higher power here, whether you call that God or Jesus, the Christ or Yahweh doesn't matter. Those are labels. The power exists regardless of quarrel over labels. And so to improve one's mental state requires power. There has to be a method for accessing this highest power in such a way that impacts the restless mind, that causes the restless mind to become quiet, to become serene by way of practice. It begins with the recognition of the spiritual power. And then there are methods that we use, meditation, of course, being one of them, to begin to calm the restless mind, to calm the mind, to redirect it back inside, and to allow the mind to derive power from a source that will rejuvenate the mind.
Mm-hmm.
So that's the second pillar. And then if we look at which we have to look at, because this is a challenge, certainly with respect to increasing well-being and vibrant health. And that is the emotions.
Mm-hmm.
If we allow ourselves to be slaves to our emotions, it becomes very, very difficult to attain a state of emotional resilience.
Mm-hmm.
But that's really the state to be attained. So the third pillar is emotional resilience. To answer the question, literally,
I've heard it said that your emotions are your GPS to your life, the GPS system for your life. As your emotions go, so goes your life. You can, you know, direct your emotions towards something positive. You can direct it towards something negative, but that's your pathway. That's your roadmap to your life.
and then the question becomes how how do I engage my humanity? How do I engage my emotions without becoming a slave to them? And that's the trick.
Yes. Right. That's the hard part. You're right.
And so we have in this third pillar methods that we specifically teach for arriving in a state where emotions can be freely expressed, where humanity can be freely expressed, uh, which is a necessity for living, but without becoming a slave to emotionality. And so that's addressed in this third pillar, emotional resilience.
Okay. That takes you to the fourth.
The fourth is vibrant health. Here in Holistic Living Network, vibrant health is not simply addressing a particular health condition or disease. Of course, that's part of it, but it doesn't stop there. Vibrant health really does mean how well are you able to integrate the first three pillars in such a way that the fourth, vibrant health, becomes more of a natural, organic outgrowth of holistic living.
Mm-hmm. So the fourth pillar is primarily the result of exercising the first three.
Yes, on the one hand, that's the way people should view it. Of course, with the fourth pillar of vibrant health, people do have chronic health conditions and diseases that they also want addressed quickly,
Mm-hmm.
right away. And so, with respect to that pillar, that's part of what is being offered.
Hmm.
That
So you're
people have,
addressing aspects of the fourth pillar while you're implementing the first three.
yes,
Okay.
yeah. I just wanted to be very specific in that when it comes to pillar number 4, vibrant health, that we do have a number of people whom we work with who are, they're quite sick and they need attention and they need loving care.
So let me see if we can clarify something then. As you're working with these people on the 4 pillars, are they normally physically involved at the network, or is it something that's done remotely, or how do they actually take part?
Well, again, it depends on what the need is. And as we're speaking, I see a comment about a person who keeps trying to get on Holistic Living Network. If you spell it with an H, you're not going to get there. And so, again, for that person, very quickly, there's the website. If you look at the URL, you'll see it's holisticlivingnetwork.org with a W. Very important. So just wanted to draw your attention to that. So
Okay.
people become engaged here based on need and based on what their current need is. And so, again, if they are subscribed, and for example, now they have a particular chronic health condition and disease that they want addressed, then they can call at any time so that we can determine how we would get them in the loop and who would be working with them, meaning who in the network. It may not be our staff, but who in the network would be working with them
Okay.
to address their underlying disease.
So then
And so,
you assign the applicable person to work with them.
sure, yes, that's part of the function of the network.
Okay.
And so those are what I refer to as the 4 pillars of joy in daily living, because if correctly approached and embraced, that this becomes a very powerful tool for people's well-being journey. I've always had a saying, the map is not the territory. The map is not the territory. And so what we feel we have done at Holistic Living Network is to begin to create a situation where people can address their needs with this understanding that the map is not the territory. And so it's just a very important point that I wanted to make. There are a lot of isms in holistic health and healing practice. There are a lot of isms in the practice of allopathic medicine. There are lots of isms in the practice of naturopathy, etc. But understanding from the experience of this highest power and sacred law will always keep you in a mindset where you remember that the map is not the territory. And I can't tell you how many times that understanding and approach actually saved my life, because it allowed me to say, okay, well, the answer's not there, the answer's not here. Where's the answer? It doesn't have to be over here. It doesn't have to come from allopathic medicine. It doesn't have to come from naturopathy. The answer is there. And so let me find out, where is that answer?
You know, I think a lot of times in our industry, holistic health, people tend to approach it the same way that they would approach or they have their whole lives approached health, and that's the allopathic way. You know, we've heard the term pill for an ill or a green pill for an ill. It's not that way in holistic health, right, Kedarji? And I think in incorporating that that trio, right, that triangle, mind, body, spirit, is how most people are missing the boat in holistic health.
No
So
question.
this is great information for that aspect alone, to help people to understand it's not just physical, it's not just chemical, it's not a matter of reductionist medicine like allopathic is. This is holistic. So you have to incorporate the whole body, which means the mind and the spirit as well.
Without question, we have to get off of the old paradigm that says, well, there's a pill for it.
Yeah.
There is a pill for it. And in most cases, that pill is going to make the situation worse.
Mm-hmm.
But there is a pill for it. So,
Absolutely.
so the issue is, we are these loving, energetic beings. Our lives are God given. And so this is where we have to start. But it also opens up so many possibilities,
Mm-hmm.
so many approaches that would otherwise never even be considered. One of the things that we are doing at Holistic Living Network is that we are developing sales of the Nutritional Frontiers supplements.
Mm-hmm.
This is a very big project for us. We did a lot of our own due diligence. We feel that your research team there has done its work properly in vetting content of what should be in these supplements, and why. Right, the supplement industry is based a lot on hearsay, meaning, uh, does your product have beta carotene in it? Does your product have this in it or that in it, as these other products do? And I think Nutritional Frontiers is making a very good case for why NF supplements contain what they contain, why those items should be in there, what they do to make the supplement a better supplement. And so this is something that we're very excited about. And we're going to be, we've already started to ramp up, but later this month, we're going to be running varying types of specials on Nutritional Frontiers supplements. We're very excited about it. NF is working with us on promotion so that we can get people engaged through the holidays.
Mm-hmm.
But we think it's going to be a really great project because we feel that you have quality supplements that, of course, more people need to know about and need to be taking.
Yes, we appreciate that. That's how the company, that's how Nutritional Frontiers was built. It was based on that concept from Dr. Weiner himself and Jamie Dorley, of course. And you've been, here to the Wellness Center. I don't know if you had a chance to tour Nutritional Frontiers when you were here, the actual facility for NF, but you're absolutely right on the money there. It's about everybody can say they have good quality, but not everybody can back it up. So we take great pride in that, and we appreciate when practitioners recognize that. So thank you for that.
Absolutely. We hope this is going to become a long and prosperous relationship for all involved, including the consumer.
Exactly. Everybody has to win, or nobody wins, because it just doesn't last. Everybody's got to win from every aspect: the practitioner, the patient, and the manufacturer. We all have to win so that we can all keep doing what we need to do. So hopefully that's the case, and we're glad that you're on board. Some parting shots. Do we have any questions that Kedarji needs to answer, Phil? Okay, we're good there. So, parting shots, my friend.
Your existence here belongs to you. And so, how it unfolds, in what experience it unfolds, all of this is something that you are responsible for, you and no one else. And
And you're
so,
living proof. You're living proof of that from your initial story that you opened up with.
well, all right. But it's very, very important for people to own, so to speak, their existence here. Because this is the very first step in holistic living. It's the very first step in actually directing outcomes for your life, for your health, all revolves around the fact that this is your existence. And so that's a
Yeah, I think
very,
that's a
very
great point. I think a lot of people put too much emphasis on, say, for example, their religious beliefs, and that the religion is the reason for their existence when it isn't. It's the person and how you embrace that aspect of your life. Great point. Great point. Great parting shot. Well, Kedarji, thank you so much for taking your time out of your day to be with us. And hopefully, we got your message across. Your website's out there. Get some people in there to enjoy the 4 pillars of holistic living. So, Kedarji, thank you very much. And we'll see you soon. Come on back and see us again.
will do. Thank you for having me.
All right. Merry Christmas. Have a great holiday.
Merry
See ya.
Christmas to you too.